Our goal is to convert the rectangular equation to a polar form. Really, truly, what we're trying to do is we're going to use a lot of substitution when we go from rectangular to polar or polar to rectangular. And then our goal when we want it in rectangular form is just to find a radius or isolate an r. So the first thing we're going to do is we know what x and y equals, so we're going to substitute x. We're going to say that's r cosine theta squared. Plus y is r sine theta squared equals 16. Well, we're going to go ahead and distribute through that to help us out. So let's distribute. So I have r squared cosine theta, cosine squared theta, plus r squared sine squared theta, and that equals 16. Well, if we want to solve for r, our goal is to isolate r. So notice we have an r in both of them, so let's distribute out. So I'm going to distribute out an r squared. And when I do that, I'm left with cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 16. So let's go back to that unit where we had Pythagorean identities. Remember, cosine squared plus sine squared equaled 1. So what I'm going to state right now is that equals 1. So what I have is r squared equals 16. If I want to solve for r, I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and r equals 4. Well, let's talk about what this equation really truly was. I have an x squared, a y squared, and it equals 16. That's a circle. So what they're saying is a radius of 4 all the way around, I have a circle. What this is saying is no matter where I go, any angle, my radius is going to be 4. All right, let's do this algebra piece again. Let's substitute in for x and y. So I have 3 r cosine theta minus r sine theta, and let's go ahead and move that to the other side. So we can rearrange some of these things. I have an r times 3 cosine theta minus r sine theta equals -2. Now, looking at these two terms, and part of the reason why I put this 2 on this side, it didn't have an r. And I can't distribute out unless I distribute out of everything. So let's factor out that r. And I'm left with 3 cosine theta minus sine theta equals -2. Well, at this point, my goal again is to isolate r, so let's just divide everything by the 3 cosine theta minus sine theta to both sides. And my final answer is r equals -2 over 3 cosine theta minus sine theta. Let's go ahead and try more. Now, this time, I have extra variables going on. So we're really truly going to focus on substituting. I know that r squared equals x squared plus y squared. So let's just go ahead right away and let's substitute r squared here. Next, we have to isolate r. So r equals 2ay. But I also know what y equals. And again, I'm going to substitute what y equals. So r squared equals 2a r sine of theta. Well, I have an r on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and divide out that r. And when I do that, so I'm dividing out this r so it cancels here, and then one of them will cancel there. Therefore, I have r, because remember we wanted to isolate it, r to the first power, is 2a sine theta. So what this a was is just to practice the manipulation of solving for r.